Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Feng Shui Serenity podcast. I am your host, Grace New. Each month, I tune into the key themes that might be showing up for the collective, using Chinese astrology, 5 elements, as well as Feng Shui. And here, we talk about all things sacred, divine guidance, soulful living, creative expression, and finding the magic within. I want to talk to you guys about the August and September energy because these 2 months' energy are very unusual. And we probably only experience energies such as this every 4 years. They're very potent, they pack a punch. They're probably, for some of you, there are certain things has already manifested or showed up in your life. And the prominent energy since the 8th of August, moving to September until the 8th of October, so these 2 months, the most potent energy is metal. Now, there is a slight difference between the August energy and the September energy. So, August energy is the young metal sitting on the monkey sign, which is also young metal. So, you will find this month, which we have already halfway through, is very young energy, very masculine. Anything shows up. So, if there's anything shows up in your life, this is going to be right in your face. Sometimes it can feel like you've been punched. Can be harsh because that's what young metal energy is. And think of the young metal, we use that. And think of the young metal is the sword, is the weapon, is the warrior. So there is this fight within the young metal energy. Okay, so young metal people tend to be very direct and, sometimes this is the warrior energy. It's like, they thrive when there is a conflict or when there is a challenge. But on the other side of the coin, young metal can also be very direct. So there is things probably showing up in your life, unexpected, but it can cut deep. So this is August. As we're moving through to September, the yin metal sitting on rooster. So the energy is slightly moving from a very young masculine energy to a very yin. However, not saying the energy is weak because the yin energy sometimes can have a significant effect as well. When the yin metal comes with rooster, this is indicating it's all about communication, in particular verbal communication. So this is about sometimes conflict through words. People are saying things behind your back. If there is a petty people around you, this is where the gossips, and we usually describe the yin metal as a small knife. And small knife, this is where yin metal is very articulate, but the small knife opposed to the sword as the young metal, but the small knife can dig really deep, can hurt you. Words can hurt you. So this month is really about, you will see there is a lot of dispute. If anything has not been resolved in the past, this is a month it will easily erupt. Particularly after this really strong young metal energy and then moving through to the yin metal, it can also means talking about you behind people's back, or this is where the defamations and things, legal issues, because metal is also about the legal issues, finance, etc. So 2 months of a very potent energy. And this will particularly impact on people who are either young metal, like your day master, your essence at birth is young metal, or yin metal, or your chart actually has overall a very strong metal energy going through. Or you're going through a 10-year luck pillar, going through yin metal, young metal, or your chart contains, as I mentioned, the tiger, the monkey or snake. And of course that September is also a clash month because rooster clash with the yearly energy rabbit. So there are bound to be a lot of event is showing up. It's going to be an eventful 2 months. And even just from the world events, we know a lot of major natural disasters is happening, such as the fire in Greece and major flooding in China, and most recently in California. So you will notice that as if we enter into this phase that the energy is accumulating and accumulating. Now is like this volcano is bursting out. It's rushing through. This is how will also manifest in our individual life if you are or if you have been suppressing in certain area. So as we are entering through the period 8 and period 9, the next 6 months is going to be this major transitioning period. So the energy can be very fickle, but at the same time, it's so potent. The best way to describe this is if you have been doing the work continuously and gently chipping through, you'll be fine. But for people who have been trying to sweep things under the carpet or, try not to see the elephant in the room, this can be very, very difficult because just like the flood, just like we've been seeing a lot of fire, like, suburban events, world events, bus crashing, causing fire, all these like really dramatic events happening. This is what tend to happen to people who have trying to look the other way. Put it this way, okay? Because we are reaching into this end period of period 8, and how I describe is this like the universe is issuing you. It's like, okay, maybe not universe, ATO is issuing you this tax bill that you have not been paying for the past 20 years. So there is a lump sum there. So things can feel pretty harsh, like, it's like a penalty for you. So this is where the period that you will also notice that people can feel very fragile. Their nervous system is very vulnerable because metal also represents your nervous system. So this is literally, I'm referring to this fight between the wood and metal. And when there is a fight between the wood and metal, there is people tend to have nervous breakdown. Mental issues will showing up big time. And I have mentioned this in numerous occasions. In period 9, the mental health is going to be so prominent and people will starting to experience this on their personal level. And of course, the wood element also referring to the anger, the frustration and resentment. Okay, a lot of people not fully understand what is anger. It's not their fault that they just, that not even knowing how to be angry or recognize that the anger energy is the wood energy, it's the energy trying to move through you. So if you have been suppressing this anger, resentment unconsciously, August, September is going to be the time it can really have this burst of either manifest in real life as fight, argument, family feud, or there is something can manifest through your body. And the wood energy is in relation to liver, gallbladder. If there is any kind of uncomfortableness or signs or symptoms in August and September, I would highly recommend you to check it out, because this is where I referred August and September as the ending, but also the beginning. So ending as in this energy of, I mentioned earlier, is if you haven't done certain work for the past 20 years, or if you have done certain thing, there is a certain consequence. This universe is actually going to, at the end of the period 8, is going to give you the discrepancy, if you'd like. So this is where most likely things will happen. A lot of people will say, oh, the feng shui of my home is fine. There's nothing is happening. I didn't feel anything. So this is where, if for some people, if your chart is also you're moving through certain very vulnerable period, you're changing 10-year luck pillar, where also the feng shui of your home is like the manifestation. If it is not aligned, it tends to happen during this couple of months or during this time when period 8 is going to wrap up. So this is the ending I'm referring to. When it comes to beginning, this is also like the cause and effect. And I would like to invite you to be super observant during August and September, because this is where we're planting the seed. What we are introducing into our life, health-wise, spiritual-wise, mental health-wise, it will stick. It will create impact. It will have this influence towards your life for the years to come. Equally, if you notice there are certain things like symptoms happening for your physical health, if you have any pains or aches, in your certain part of your body, check it out, because this is where also the things will carry a certain level of consequence, okay, for the years to come. So we want to catch it earlier in the piece, because also this is another thing that with the recent consultation, with the recent reading of people's Bazi chart, there is a lot of prominent life events happening, particularly in the health front. People has been diagnosed with cancer, and also serious illnesses has been diagnosed. And when these things happen, it can also develop very, very quickly. And people say if they have cancer, the passing can also be super quick as well, if they are going through certain luck pillar and their home's feng shui is not aligned. So this is like a few layers, right? I'm saying this, and don't get fearful, because it might not apply to you. And this is just a severe case when there's a different layer of you going through a very unfavorable luck pillar, and you may tend to choose the wrong house. And if there is no adjustment, alignment within your home, and when this, as we're moving through period 8 as well, the universal chi is also changing. You tend to be dealt with these cards that can be quite harsh. So this is what I have been seeing in my clients. So this is why this very quick podcast. So I want you to be aware of the magnitude of this particular time, that where we don't experience that often, August, September, towards the end of period 8, where we are wrapping up this 20 years and about to shift into the new phase. And we also happen to go through this 2 months that is really potent energy and happen to be metal. And metal is to also the energy about letting go and cut through a lot of entanglement. So this is where the universe is also filtering. The universe is also letting go a lot of stagnant energy. So lots happening. This is why that I want to pop in quickly to share some insights. And if there are certain things that you feel that you need to gain clarity, to gain insights, or within your home that you have been feeling things that has not been right, you need to do something about it. It's not just going to be thinking, will not cut it, put it this way, okay? So this is just my little gentle and loving reminder for you to be taking care of yourself, not only just on the health perspective, physical health perspective, but also mental perspective. If anything that needs to move through, these are the time for you to do it. Invest in yourself, gain clarity, reach out to people that you have always been wanting to work with. This is the time, because this is the time to make some really, and this is a time that needs to bring some conviction and then move through it quickly. And metal energy, especially young metal energy, is also about quick decisions, like a sword. You're going to have to do something about it. So that's what I want to share, the key messages. Very impromptu podcast, I guess, but I want to send my love to all of you. And if anything that I can help, I can be of assistance, I am here for you, okay? And I'm wishing you strength, wisdom, and intelligence. And last thing is, metal is all about intelligence and wisdom as well. So use the intelligence and power within you, which I trust that every single of you hold that within you. And I'll see you next time.